Scenes from Tokyo, Japan, earlier this morning. Thousands upon thousands of mourners outside a main temple in Tokyo to pay final respects to former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. He was assassinated at a campaign rally last Friday. His death has shaken people in the country. Both political violence and gun crime are exceedingly rare in Japan. The ceremony itself, the funeral, was open only to Abe's family and close friends. It was private, but the crowds outside paying respects, as you see in those images. Phoebe Amoroso is covering the story for us, and she's here with us from Tokyo. Tell us a little bit more, Phoebe, about how Shinzo Abe is being remembered today.
Well, the nation is still very much in shock. The actual funeral was held at 1 p.m. just with Abe's wife, Akie, and close family and some senior officials from the Liberal Democratic Party. But that didn't stop the public turning out in force. And right from the morning, the queue, there was no end to the queue of people lining up to lay flowers at a flower stand with a picture of Abe that was set up at the temple for people to pay their respects. And then people lined the streets waiting during the funeral, because afterwards his body was brought out in a hearse. When it emerged, many people erupted into applause. It was then driven around the Nagatacho area of Tokyo, where the parliamentary buildings are, and Prime Minister Kishida and other senior officials came out and bowed their heads to show their respects. We're also hearing a huge amount of outpouring of sympathy from people overseas and other politicians and leaders. In fact, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken changed his schedule, stopping by Tokyo on Monday to speak directly with Prime Minister Kishida and offer his condolences, describing Abe as a man with a vision and the ability to carry out that vision. We also saw US Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. She's in Tokyo to speak with Japan's finance minister, but she attended the wake that was held at Zojoji yesterday evening. So we're seeing a huge amount of outpouring of sympathy and a recognition of just what a significant leader Abe was on the international political stage.
Indeed, Phoebe. So as that mourning in Japan continues, so does the investigation. Looking into the Friday assassination, there is a 41-year-old man in police custody. What are we now learning about him and what his motive might have been?
It's a strange tale. Tetsuya Yamagami is, yes, a 41-year-old man from the city of Nara. And he has a grudge, reportedly, against a religious organization called the Unification Church. And according to some of the latest media reports here in Japan, he said that he believed that Abe's grandfather, who was also Prime Minister of Japan, had some kind of role in bringing this organization over to Japan. Now, that is not substantiated. Now, the reason why Yamagami had this grudge is that his mother was a long-term follower and made some kind of financial donation to the organization that put the family finances under strain. So Yamagami initially planned to attack a religious leader, but then focused his attentions on former Prime Minister Abe. And what really is emerging is just how premeditated this attack was. The suspect spent many months constructing his own firearms. And in fact, just in the past 24 hours, the police have recovered a further 2 guns in his apartment that were being constructed. And there were also reports that he was planning to use a bomb as well. So really a huge amount of forethought going into this attack. And that's also raising questions about security at political campaigns in Japan, where gun violence is very, very rare. So normally security focuses on close physical contact. And so there is being an investigation and a reconsideration into how these kinds of political campaigns are managed in future.
Phoebe, thank you so much. Phoebe Amoroso, as she reports live to us from Tokyo.